What if the single greatest asset you'll ever own, the key to genuine contentment and unshakable strength, isn't something you can acquire, earn, or receive from anyone else, but is already yours, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to finally unlock it? This is not a hypothetical. It is the core teaching of Stoicism, an ancient blueprint that has guided emperors, slaves, and thinkers for millennia. It teaches us that a life of purpose isn't found in trophies, titles, or bank balances, but in the quiet mastery of our own judgment, the pursuit of wisdom, and the unwavering commitment to our values. But if this wisdom is so powerful, why do so many of us, including you right now, continuously make the same self-defeating choices that keep us small? We are going to peel back the layers of self-doubt and societal pressure, revealing the timeless, counterintuitive Stoic principles that can completely recalibrate how you perceive your own potential. This is not a simple self-help list. It's a fundamental reevaluation of your self-worth, a guide to aligning your life with your core ethics. So, if you are ready to forge a new path towards personal autonomy, resilience, and authentic fulfillment, you are exactly where you need to be. We will explore how ancient wisdom can illuminate the modern struggle of self-valuation. Your worth is not what you have, but what you are. The truth is, we've all been there. We cling to a job that slowly erodes our vitality. We stay in relationships that fail to elevate us. We abandon our most cherished ambitions because the fear of failure is paralyzing. We settle. We negotiate with ourselves, whispering that this is just how life is or it's good enough. What lies beneath this acceptance of mediocrity? Is it simple fear of the unknown? Is it a seductive comfort in the familiar, even if it hurts? Or maybe it's a toxic cocktail of both, a recipe for a life half-lived. Stoicism illuminates a different path. It teaches us that our essence, our true north, is untouched by our external circumstances. It argues that our character is not defined by our job title, our bank account, or our relationship status, but by the unwavering quality of our response to every situation. Think of the prisoner who finds peace within his cell, or the leader who loses everything yet retains his dignity. When we accept less than we deserve, aren't we confessing that our environment holds more power over us than our own internal compass? Stoicism challenges this fundamental belief. It asks, does this situation reflect my values? Is my response worthy of my true potential? And if the answer is a resounding no, Stoicism doesn't leave you in defeat. It empowers you. It declares you possess the power to transform your reality simply by transforming your perception and choosing your response. So, the next time you are tempted to settle, remember this: your value is not contingent on a paycheck, a title, or the approval of others. Your value is measured by your ability to act with integrity, to remain true to yourself, and to face life's storms with quiet courage. This is not about arrogance or entitlement. It's about a fair and honest assessment of your own efforts and virtues. Why is this important? Because acknowledging what you have accomplished is not about inflating your ego. It's about honoring the discipline, the bravery, the wisdom it took to get there. To dismiss your success as luck or to minimize it as nothing special is to devalue not just the result, but the very virtues you exercised. Consider this. In Stoicism, virtues like discipline, justice, and wisdom are the pillars of a well-lived life. When you achieve something, whether it's a promotion, a newly acquired skill, or even successfully organizing a cluttered room, you have likely embodied these virtues. It might have taken discipline to focus, or courage to take the first step. If you don't acknowledge that, you are lying to yourself. You are robbing yourself of the truth of your own character. So, how do you honor your achievements without tipping into arrogance? The Stoic path is about balance and truth. It's about saying, yes, I worked for this. Yes, I overcame obstacles. Yes, this reflects my effort and my core values. It's giving credit where it is due, not for the sake of pride, but for the sake of honest recognition. Have you ever stopped to think about the virtues you displayed in your last meaningful achievement? This practice transforms how you see yourself. It moves you from a place of false modesty to a genuine appreciation of your own capabilities. It's not about ego. It's about acknowledging the strength you have already cultivated. Now, consider this common scenario. You are the first to stay late at work, the one who cancels plans to help a friend, the person who constantly puts your own dreams on the back burner for others. It feels noble. It feels selfless. But here's the harsh reality that Stoicism forces us to confront. Constantly giving away your time and energy until you have nothing left for yourself is not a virtue. It's a form of self-neglect. It leads to burnout, resentment, and a loss of self-identity. How can you pour from an empty cup? Stoicism is not a philosophy of detachment or cold indifference. It places a high value on community and the betterment of society. However, it firmly asserts that caring for yourself is not selfish. It is the prerequisite for caring for others effectively. To be a pillar of strength for someone else, you must first ensure your own foundation is solid, both mentally and spiritually. Let's apply the Stoic principle of control here. Your own thoughts, actions, and self-care are within your control. The well-being of another person, as much as you love them, is not. What you can control is your own readiness to offer help, love, and support. When you are well-rested, mentally clear, and at peace, how much more effective are you? How much more patient? How much more present? When was the last time you prioritized your own well-being and noticed the positive ripple effect on those around you? Striking this balance starts with a fundamental mindset shift. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It means carving out time for activities that replenish you, setting healthy boundaries, and learning to say no without guilt. You do these things not out of indulgence, but out of a commitment to being your best self for the people you care about. This week, find one way to prioritize your own well-being. Remember, it's not just for you. It's an act of service to ensure you show up as the strongest version of yourself. Stoicism also teaches the discipline of self-perception. This means recognizing your strengths as honestly as you recognize your weaknesses. Why is it so hard for us to accept a compliment? Often, we view ourselves through a cracked lens, hyper-focusing on our own imperfections. This isn't humility, it's a distortion. True humility is not denying your strengths, it's acknowledging them in a grounded, realistic way. It's seeing yourself for who you truly are, without the hazy clouds of ego or the shadows of insecurity. Accepting a compliment graciously is a profound act of self-awareness. When someone praises you, they are often recognizing a genuine virtue you possess. Dismissing that praise robs you of a chance to see yourself through another's eyes and understand your impact on the world. So, how do you get better at it? Start by simply saying thank you. No deflection, no self-deprecation, just gratitude for the recognition. When you're praised, take a moment to reflect, how did I earn this? How does this reflect my effort and my values? This isn't about feeding your ego, it's about understanding and acknowledging the part of you capable of excellence. Have you ever been paralyzed by a simple choice? This hesitation is a deep-seated lack of self-trust. It's like standing on a diving board, knowing you must jump, but terrified of the impact. Stoicism provides a torch to cut through this fog. It teaches that sound decision-making isn't about guaranteeing a perfect outcome. It's about basing your choice on wisdom and reason. While you cannot control the outcome, you have complete control over the process. Are your choices aligned with your values? If so, you can accept the outcome, whatever it may be, as part of life's natural flow. Why do we fear making decisions? Often it's the fear of being wrong, of failing. But Stoicism asks us to reframe our understanding. There are no failures, only lessons. Every result, whether expected or not, offers a chance for growth. This perspective empowers you to trust yourself, to make choices with courage, knowing that you will learn from the outcome, regardless of what it is. Have you ever looked back on a bad decision and realized it taught you something you couldn't have learned otherwise? To build this self-trust, embrace wisdom and reason before acting. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? By grounding your choices in your principles, you ensure that your decision was made with the best possible intentions, using all the understanding you have at that moment. This process of reflection and learning builds trust. It reassures you that you can navigate the uncertain waters of life, making choices that reflect your true self. What about that inner critic? The Stoics taught that obsessing over our flaws and failures is like trying to sail a ship while ignoring the wind. We are focusing on the wrong thing. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. Perfection is a myth. Progress is the only path forward. Why are we so harsh on ourselves? We often measure ourselves against impossible standards we would never impose on anyone else. We forget that being human inherently means being flawed and learning from those flaws. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, self-compassion. This isn't about making excuses. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. When you stumble, the Stoic response is not to berate yourself, but to ask, what can I learn? How can I grow? This requires a shift in perspective. Every effort, even those that don't produce the desired result, is a step forward. Progress, not perfection, becomes your mantra. This doesn't mean becoming complacent. It means pursuing growth with the wisdom to know that the journey is often non-linear and messy. Why is the comparison trap so easy to fall into? It's human nature to gauge our worth against others. But in the age of social media, this tendency is amplified to an extreme. We are bombarded with curated highlight reels of others' lives, leading us to question the value of our own, more chaotic journeys. How can we possibly measure up to a carefully crafted fiction? Stoicism provides a direct antidote, self-awareness and gratitude for your unique path. It encourages us to redirect our gaze inward. It teaches us to be inspired by others, not to compare ourselves to them. How can we apply this? First, by practicing mindfulness and catching ourselves when we start to compare. Remind yourself that social media is a curated gallery, not an accurate reflection of everyday life. Second, focus on what's within your control, your effort, your attitude, your virtues. These are the seeds from which your unique life grows. By nurturing these seeds, you cultivate a garden of personal significance, independent of external validation. Third, practice gratitude. By being thankful for your experiences, both good and bad, you anchor yourself in the present and appreciate the richness of your life. This empowers you to strive for improvement from a place of contentment, not inadequacy. Have you ever postponed a class you wanted to take, neglected a hobby, or put off your self-care? This is often a sign that you are not recognizing your own value. It's a silent declaration. I am not worth the effort. But Stoicism challenges us to see self-improvement as a form of self-respect. If you don't invest in yourself, who will? Seneca compared life to a garden. It needs constant tending to flourish. Ignoring our personal growth is akin to letting that garden become overgrown. Why do we hesitate? Sometimes it's the lure of immediate gratification, choosing short-term pleasure over long-term fulfillment. Other times, it's a deeper lack of self-esteem. But Stoicism asserts that every individual has inherent worth and potential for virtue. Investing in ourselves through learning, hobbies, or self-care is a testament to that worth. So, how do we start? Begin with a mindset shift. See self-improvement as a non-negotiable part of life. It doesn't require a grand overhaul. Start with small, consistent investments, a few minutes of meditation, reading a chapter of a book, starting that hobby. Stoicism also emphasizes reflection. By taking stock of your strengths and areas for growth, you can guide your personal investments with purpose and meaning. This isn't just about external success, it's about living in alignment with your values. True validation comes from within, from living in accordance with your principles. The Stoics believe the only things truly in our control are our own actions, intentions, and responses. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that it's not the opinions of others that disturb us, but our own judgments about those opinions. Why do we seek external validation? It often stems from a deep-seated insecurity and a fear of not being enough. Stoicism invites us to turn inward, to focus on cultivating our character and living a life of virtue. It teaches us that peace comes from being true to ourselves, not from the fleeting approval of others. Breaking free from this need for approval starts with self-awareness. Are you pursuing a goal because it aligns with your values or because you're seeking applause? Stoicism teaches us to examine our own motives. Another key practice is developing self-sufficiency. This doesn't mean becoming isolated, but finding contentment within yourself. You are complete as you are. By letting go of what others think and focusing on what you can control, you become less reliant on external sources of validation. Redefine success. Measure it not by accolades, but by your ability to live according to your values. Imagine finding yourself in a dense forest, the path unclear. A toxic job, a draining relationship, a negative environment. The decision to stay often stems from a belief that you don't deserve better. But here, Stoicism provides a mirror and a map. The Stoics believed that while our environment impacts us, we have a responsibility to shape it for the better. Why do we tolerate negativity? We might fear the unknown or doubt our capacity for change. Stoicism challenges these doubts, urging us to recognize the agency we have over our choices. One key Stoic practice is building inner resilience. As Marcus Aurelius described, we must fortify our inner citadel. This allows us to stay true to our values, even in chaos. Another principle is living according to nature, which includes seeking harmony in our environments. Are you actively creating an environment that supports your growth, or are you simply enduring one that drains your spirit? This means actively seeking out places that are conducive to our well-being and making conscious decisions to not settle for less. It could mean setting boundaries, seeking new opportunities, or changing your social circle. It also means investing in a personal environment through meditation, journaling, or hobbies that supports your mental health. Why does fear hold such power over us? We are acutely aware of what we could lose, but Stoicism asks us to consider what we could gain. It encourages us to weigh our fears against the potential for growth and fulfillment. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is negative visualization, or the premeditation of evils. By contemplating the worst-case scenarios, we often find our fears are less daunting than they seem. We realize we can endure them, and that failure is not the end, but a step in our journey. Another principle that can embolden us is amor fati, the love of fate. This is the idea of embracing everything life throws your way, not just with resignation, but with enthusiasm. When you pursue your dreams with amor fati, you open yourself up to the full spectrum of experiences, successes, failures, joys, and disappointments, all of which are integral to the human experience. This acceptance frees you from the paralyzing grip of fear and allows you to move forward with courage and determination. Your true worth is not measured by external achievements, but by your commitment to living virtuously, to striving with integrity, diligence, and courage. The fear of pursuing your dreams is not just a barrier to success, it's a barrier to living a life that's truly yours. Why do we forget this fundamental Stoic lesson? It's our natural desire for connection and validation. We seek our worth in the reflection of others' opinions. But Stoicism teaches us that true freedom and contentment come from recognizing our intrinsic value. Our worth is innate. Your intrinsic value needs no external validation. Recognizing this frees us from the relentless pursuit of approval. How can we cultivate this? It begins with self-reflection, with turning our gaze inward to acknowledge our virtues, our efforts, our resilience. It means practicing gratitude for our abilities and character, recognizing these internal qualities as the true measures of our worth. It means learning to detach our sense of value from the fluctuating opinions of others. This feeling of undeservedness can stem from past traumas or societal conditioning. We compare our behind-the-scenes struggles to others' highlight reels, leading us to doubt our worthiness of happiness. Are you letting the curated lives of others dictate your own sense of worth? Stoicism encourages us to dismantle these misconceptions. Happiness is not a reward, but a way of living. It invites us to find joy in the pursuit of virtue and reason. This perspective empowers us to take charge of our happiness, to create it through daily choices and attitudes. We must challenge the belief that happiness is conditional on perfection. Instead, we must view happiness as inherent in the practice of living virtuously. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This shift is crucial to feeling deserving of happiness. It allows us to see the beauty and potential in our everyday lives. As we conclude this journey through Stoic wisdom, let's remember that our lives are canvases. We have the power to paint them with the colors of virtue, resilience, and joy. Remember, you are the architect of your own destiny. The path may be strewn with challenges, but it is also lined with the potential for immense growth. If this conversation has resonated with you, if it has sparked a light of recognition within your heart, I ask you to like this video and share it with your friends. Let's spread this wisdom far and wide, empowering others to recognize their worth and pursue their happiness with courage. Thank you for joining me at Mind Forge today. Until next time, live bravely, love deeply, and seek the joy that is your birthright.